Hey guys, welcome back to Gamora's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a delicious, refreshing dessert called Lemon Lush. These are all the ingredients you're going to need. It's going to have several different layers, but to gather everything at the beginning, you are going to need about 1.5 cups of milk. You're going to need 1 cup of white all-purpose flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 cup of chopped pecans, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 package of instant lemon pudding mix, 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 8 ounces of Cool Whip or light whipped topping, and 1 stick of butter, which we're going to melt, so I just put it directly in this large bowl here. The first thing we're going to have to do is make the crust, so let's get started. For the crust, you're just going to need the butter, flour, sugar, and pecans. Step 1, melt the butter. Once you have your butter melted, which I just did in my microwave for about 30 seconds, you want to add in the flour, sugar, and pecans. Use a rubber spatula and stir all this together. Okay, once you have your crust all mixed together, you want to spread it out in the bottom of a 13 by 9 glass baking dish. Now we have our crust spread out in the bottom of our 13 by 9 pan. We're going to cook this in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 20 minutes or until nicely browned. Okay, our crust has been in the oven about 20 minutes and the edges are just starting to brown, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to pull this out and set it aside. You want to let it cool while you're getting the rest of your layers together, and just make sure that it is cool to the touch before you add anything on top of this crust. While our crust is cooling, we're going to make the first layer, which is going to be your softened cream cheese, powdered sugar, and Cool Whip. So you're just going to take your cream cheese, add your sugar, and stir to combine. You can also use a hand mixer or a whisk, but I just prefer the spatula. Once your cream cheese and your sugar are combined well, you're going to take 1 cup of the whipped topping and fold it into this mixture. You want to add this after you've done the sugar because you don't want too much of the whipped cream to deflate. Once you have your whipped cream mixed in and you don't see any large streaks of white anymore, you can see it's pretty well combined. You want to spread this in the bottom of your crust. You can see here the crust is cooled. I can handle the pan and touch the top and it's not hot at all. Like I said, you want this to be cool to the touch, otherwise your cream cheese whipped cream mixture will melt. So once you have this cooled, you can spread the cream cheese in an even layer on top. Once you have your cream cheese mixture spread out evenly, you just want to set this aside while we assemble the pudding layer. For the pudding layer, all you're going to need is 1 box of instant lemon pudding mix. You can double this and use 2 packages if you want a thicker layer of the pudding, but I'm just going to use the 1. You're also going to need 1.5 cups of cold milk. This is slightly less than what's called for on the package. You do want this to be a little bit of a thicker mixture so that it holds its shape well. So we're only going to use 1.5 cups instead of the 2 cups that's called for. You're also going to need a whisk just to combine your pudding and your milk very, very well. So just pour the milk on and whisk until completely dissolved. Once your pudding mix is ready, you want to slowly pour it over the cream cheese layer, not too fast or you'll create a divot, but just slowly pour it over in a nice even layer and then spread it out with your spatula. After your pudding is spread out evenly, you just want to top the entire dish with the remaining whipped topping that you have. This is after the 1 cup that we scooped out for the cream cheese layer. So you just want to take the whole rest of this and dollop it on, then spread it out gently and stick in the fridge to cool. Now that we have our whipped topping completely covering the dessert, we're going to chill this in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Okay, our dessert has chilled closer to an hour. 30 minutes is really kind of the minimum, but you can leave it in the fridge even overnight if you have, let's say, a party or something to take it to the next day. You just want to make sure it's chilled enough that the cream cheese and the pudding is set up and it will hold its shape. As you can see, I've cut out a square here. You can see the nice layers happening in there with the crust, cream cheese, pudding, and then whipped cream on top. This is a great potluck dish or just a dessert that's refreshing on any summer day. You can serve it with some fresh berries or just on its own. Either way, it's delicious. So I hope you learned something new today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, happy cooking!